There are things I never thought I would say in life. Let's go to a vegan restaurant tonight. Wow, I really like your Prius. You know, I've seen Die Hard too many times. Can we watch The Notebook tonight? And to cap it all off, that's a good-looking Taurus. And yet, I must admit, that's a good-looking Taurus.
Hey guy, good to see you around the neighborhood. Talking shit to my woman? Finish her. Contact front! It's like a movie.
Not ready yet.
Not ready yet.
He wasn't ready. You good?
I'm ready.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of 1911 Syndicate.
Freak yeah.
Freak yeah. Today we're outside of a tunnel talking about 22s. Before we get into these, though, Jake, what do you got to tell the people?
Juicy 22 long rifles, suppressed with optics. And
Unicorn penis.
welcome to the families watching. Thanks, Chris, for ruining their viewing experience on this Friday night.
Has this ever been a family-friendly show?
I like to think it is. I like to think it is, yes.
Stupid.
Get some shout outs here. Thanks to Shooting Surplus for sponsoring the freaking movie today. Because this is a movie, this is a big production budget movie here. And we thank them for their support. They got a lot of great stuff. They got a giant website that has a lot of stuff on it. So go check it out. They got guns and gear and all that kind of stuff that you guys need. I recently bought my EOTech that I just purchased from there.
Oh,
I
nice.
bought 300 blackout ammo from there. And so I
Well, our
personally...
code, did you use our code?
I did, actually.
1911 will get you 5% off the entire website, folks. So go ahead and use that.
Yep. Beyond that, U.S. Brass House, our ammo sponsor, does not carry 22, but all of our mainstream ammo, well, I guess that's mainstream technically, but they don't have 22, but they've got pretty much anything else you guys are likely to need. So check out U.S. Brass House for your ammo needs. Plug in the number 1911 as one discount code, and then the word Syndicate for a second discount code, and that's going to save you $40 for every freaking case of ammo that you get, man.
Pretty good.
God, it's so good.
That and I have heard a little birdie say that they might start, no, sorry, not even a might, that they are going to start carrying some other calibers. So.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Awesome. Dope. So that, now let's kind of get into this. We always do our best to give you guys an assessment of, hey, how we get the products that we get for review and just kind of the nature of the relationship. So we really did not know Taurus. These guns, both of these did come from Taurus, and we might have another video or two that we're going to be doing on a couple of their other kind of bigger pieces, but we did not know them.
Might be a shock for people that were.
Yeah, and like, look, here's where it comes from, guys. If I can be perfectly honest with you, almost ruthlessly so, part of the reason that we do some things that like aren't Gucci stuff all the time is because one, you can only get so many crazy pieces because it gets very, very expensive. Two, I know that a lot more people are likely to be interested in picking up something like this than they are $5,000 1911. So we try to bring you some stuff where it's like, yes, this is mainstream, the kind of thing that people buy. Because frankly, that's good for viewership and also just we're intrigued at the same time. So we got in touch with Taurus. It was never even a goal of ours. It was a mutual friend that was like, you guys ever checked out any Taurus stuff? And to be perfectly honest, no.
No. Vehemently aggressive no.
Yeah, and that's not because I dislike them or anything. I had no experience with them, if I'm being honest. But we had a call with them and we were just like, hey, we're open to the conversation, you know? Like, we're not snobby, like, well, even if we are.
I will admit, I may have been a little snobby and been like, dude, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really have any interest. And then we had a call.
Well, and so kind of here's what's going on with Taurus without getting all into the nitty gritty of it, which is, hey, look, Taurus is obviously a giant firearms company, enormous.
One of the biggest firearms manufacturers on the planet.
Yeah, on the planet, right? And so they're enormous, mainstream, very, very well known. I would say, generally speaking, they are bought by people who are either first-time gun buyers or people that just lean more on the budget-friendly side of buying firearms.
And a third category of just as good.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. And right, so that they kind of have their vibe that they're known for, but just from conversations with them, they're really making a concerted effort to add in some guns that they are making for people who actually shoot.
Yes.
You know, not just people who buy something to have it sit in the safe, but like people who actually shoot. The TX22 is part of that. The GX4, which we're going to be doing a video on, is part of that. So I'm very open to the conversation. Anytime a company says, "Hey, look, we are we have no interest in you know, getting rid of anything that we currently do, but we're looking to add in some stuff for people that really go out and train and stuff." I go,
yeah,
cool, you got my attention. So we're gonna be talking about the 22 pistols here. Here's the deal: the TX22 guys first came out SHOT Show 2019. Okay. And it was significant, if you will, because it was the first striker fire 22 long rifle pistol that had a 16 round capacity.
Yeah.
So it was essentially a high capacity striker fire 22.
Yeah.
Okay. These that we have are the competition model, and these came out SHOT Show 2021. So they're only about a year old. Still a relatively new pistol to the marketplace. There are some other reviews out there you guys are more than welcome to go check out, but these are still relatively new. It's meant to be a competition pistol, and some of the features will probably lead people to go like, yeah, I could see why that would be pretty cool for competition. Apparently there are 22 long rifle competitions.
Would have never thought.
Don't know who shoots them, but they out there. MSRP on these is $533. That's more than you would typically associate with most Tauruses, okay?
Yeah.
Here's the disclaimer to that. If you're like, hey, I want the like the as cheap as I can get Taurus, they have the non-competition version of these that's $350. Okay.
Okay.
So if you're looking for that, like, I don't really want to spend like mid fives, cool. If you want to spend like mid threes, which some people are like, yes, I'm just looking for like a family plinker, like on the 2 camping trips that we do a year. Cool, you can go drop $350 on the standard TX22. Okay. If you want the competition one with like the island red dot and all that kind of stuff that we'll talk about, then hey, closer to $500. So, first things first, 16 round capacity.
Yep. And ships with 3 mags.
Yes. So that's nice. Ships with 3 mags, 16 round capacity. So very good on the capacity side of this. The red dot system is actually very cool. It's probably my favorite feature of the gun. So totally non-reciprocating.
Yeah, if you guys notice that, reciprocation, but the red dot stays still.
Yeah. So if you're like, so how exactly is it mounted? What's attached to? It's attached to the barrel hood. So the red dot plate it's not integral because you could take off screws and take off the plate if for some weird reason you didn't want it, which would mean don't buy this version.
It's just got 2 set screws.
Yeah, which if you get these, just a pro tip if you will, take those out and Loctite them down.
Correct.
They don't come Loctited, so if you're gonna get this, they will eventually start to back out a little bit. Probably not to the point of this falling off. You'll probably catch it before you get to that point, hopefully.
It'll throw off your zero, though.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, if you get one of these, hey, first thing, take off the optic plate screws, throw a little blue Loctite, tighten them down, good to go.
Yep.
Fortunately, there's not a lot of recoil on this.
Yeah.
So they're probably not going to be backing off anytime soon. But because that plate is attached to the barrel hood, it is non-reciprocating. So with
Damn it, it's cool.
Yeah. So with every pull of that trigger, right, slide is reciprocating, that dot is staying right there. Of course, the benefit of that is because this is on 22 long rifle and there's suppressors on the end of these, making this a relatively heavy 22 pistol. This gun does not move. It just does not move. So as fast as you can pull the trigger,
Yeah.
you'll just hit A zones.
A zones all day.
Just endless A zones as fast as your finger
As
can
fast as you can work it, dude. That booger hook.
It's fantastic. It's really quite a lot of fun. A couple other things on this. The plate itself is designed so that you can run a variety of red dots, and that is nice. And you'll see, we're not going to take these off to show you
Very
'cause there's no
forward
point.
thinking of them.
So you can run it for RMR Hollow Sun footprint, which both of us I think are running 507Cs.
Hollow Suns. You
Yeah.
got the ACS.
Yeah, I've got the
Mine's
ACS
standard.
reticle, yeah. Which is the same as an RMR footprint for those of you that may not know that.
Yep.
So those are interchangeable, which might mean it would run an SRO2, even though it would be
Correct.
pretty obnoxious on this, although fast as shit.
But for a competition, if this is a competition, most competition shooters like SROs.
Yeah, because giant ass window, right?
Yeah.
You can also run a Leopold Delta Point Pro
Okay.
on this, which I would not do because I don't like them. You could also run the Vortex Red Dot, which I think
Okay.
might be called the Spark, if I remember right.
They have the Venom, the Spark.
And I might be wrong on that. I don't know. It's what came to mind though.
I think it's the Venom.
Okay, sure. Take your word for it. So you can run a variety of red dots. If you're like, oh man, I don't want to drop like RMR money on a pistol that's the same price as the dot, then it's like, cool, you go get a Vortex or go get a Leopold or
Or a Hollow Sun.
or a Hollow Sun, which is probably what most of you would do because they're really good and they're still pretty budget friendly or very budget friendly, I would say. A few other features, 5-inch bull barrel.
Yep.
So the benefit of bull barrels,
Little added weight.
generally speaking, right? A little added weight at the front of the gun, just keeping that muzzle flat. Is that really a concern on this? No, because there's really no recoil whatsoever. But you do have a 5-inch bull barrel. So this is, I guess we'll go ahead and talk about this. So this is a full-size gun.
Yep.
And it's one of the things that I really like about it, because there's some little 22 pistols that when you pick them up, you feel like you got a little like
Noisy
baby gun.
cricket, you know?
Yeah, a little baby gun, right? And this is a full-size pistol. It's a full-size group. I can't tell if right now the mountain is about to implode on us. It seems like it is.
The rocks.
So this is our last video. That's what happened, everyone. That's all a fun and joke until literally me
You
and Chris
die.
get dead.
I wouldn't die. You would die.
True. But so look, it's a full-size grip, guys. Like this is a full-size grip. It's a full-size pistol. It doesn't feel like a little tiny toy pistol.
No.
And I like that.
I got some meaty hands. Plenty of room for a good grip on that gun.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
fun.
So that's pretty cool. Half by 28 thread pitch,
Yeah.
which means it's going to run with basically any suppressor that you guys would have an interest in throwing on,
You can throw a Helios on there.
which is hilarious. Your can,
CGS Hydra SS.
okay, with the pink coating, which is super cool. And then I've got a dead air mask. So a couple
Great
different
22 cans.
Yep, right. So a couple different options for 22 cans that you can run on there. The trigger, I would say, is about what you would expect from a trigger on a Striker Fire 22. Nothing notable.
Resets, not terrible.
No, it's
A little bit of slack there.
like it frankly, damn, as I really kind of, there's this take up that's in here that's, I'd say, somewhat gritty. There's a little bit of just like kind of chunkiness to some of that take
Also
up.
probably dirty.
It's been really dusty out here today, so like these for sure have gotten some dust in
And
'em.
22 just runs dirty, right? So
Very dirty. So it would help if I reset my trigger. So really the trigger pull itself, like the actual brake, once
It's
you
not
get to
terrible.
that wall, is frankly pretty good. And the, well, I missed the reset, but the reset's fine. There's just a little bit of that kind of like little gritty take up there. Not bad. And again, because this is so forgiving to shoot, it's almost like however bad the trigger is, hypothetically, it doesn't even matter.
No.
Because it's like you just keep pressing and just keep sending it. About my only real criticism I could point out on this thing is I could live without this little ledge that's over top the mag release. There's a little ledge right here.
Yeah.
Little bar that goes over top the mag release. The upside in that would be that, hey, if you're carrying this in some sort of hypothetical rig, there's really no shot that this thing's gonna get depressed and maybe you pop a mag out.
Yeah.
The problem is that, at least for me as a lefty, right, when I go to do a reload, I've got to press with my trigger finger in this. And there's a tendency where it's like, oh, I'm just kind of hitting that. It's not a giant issue, don't get me wrong, but it's like, I come into reload, cool. I just have to be a little deliberate about like, cool. I come a little higher than I typically would with my trigger finger to drop that mag.
Instead of me like just thumb, I mean, look, on my grip, my thumb's right there, so.
Yeah. Yeah, for me as a lefty, it's just a little different because I'm essentially coming from up top down.
Yeah.
And instead of coming all the way down where I typically would, I just got to come a little bit higher.
Can we flip that mag release?
I don't.
It appears that you could. I
Actually,
just
it
don't
does.
know.
It actually does appear that you could, so don't quote us on that because I don't know that for sure.
Actually,
I don't know.
I don't think you can. Never mind, I'll shut up.
The mags might indicate it. The mags actually look like that indicates that
maybe
it
we
would,
can.
because the little detent is on both sides of the mag.
Anyways,
so
go ahead.
Doesn't matter. The thumb safety, I thought I didn't like until we got out here today, and there was like lulls and strings of fire, or I was like, man, I don't need to have my gun on like total hot right now, and I just flip on the thumb safety. So the thumb safety actually won me over today, to be honest with you, because you're never gonna use it in any sort of draw scenario. It's just, to me, one, unnecessary, two, it's just too slim to really be able to confidently get up there and index it every time. But especially for a gun that I think is more oriented at, hey, a plinker, and I guess also a competition gun, it's like, hey, especially with your kids or family or something like that, you're gonna be happy you have the safety.
For me, in my case, when I was shooting this, sometimes it ranges when I'm shooting if I go indoor, which is very rare, but when I was shooting this gun, I did. I asked a couple guys that were shooting, they're like, hey, do you wanna shoot a 22 for me? Just tell me what you think, you know? And so instead of giving them like a hot gun, right?
Throw
it was hot, but safety, set it on the bench, they come up, do their thing, right? Another added level of safety for a random dude or kids, or, you know, I don't mind it, man.
I don't either, because it's a non-issue. It's not obtrusive enough where it actually ever gets in your way. You're ever even gonna notice it unless you need it.
Yeah.
So I'm actually neutral on it, or I'm fine with it after today. A couple things, let's talk about reliability. So 22 is a notoriously
inherently
picky, problematic, picky
finicky
round. We've run a couple different ammo, both CCI rounds. One were hollow points. The gun was a lot more picky on hollow points than it was on just the regular round nose bullshit 22.
CCI 22 stuff.
Yeah. So the malfunctions that I've had, and why I won't speak for you, but the ones that I've had are almost always the same thing, which is a failure to feed.
Correct.
So it'll be, hey, slide is locked, you know, partially way back, or, you know, all the way back. And you'll just see a round that's like, it tried to get into the barrel and it's like, I just couldn't did it, and then I crumpled and just did this instead of going inside of the barrel.
It destroys them, you know?
Yeah. So the hollow points were definitely more problematic. Not like a disaster or anything.
No, just a couple here and there.
Yeah, but occasionally here and there, you'd have a little failure to feed. The round nose stuff, honestly, pretty solid.
Yeah, in my 500 rounds of CCI round nose, I had 2 failure to feeds, both ammo related, out of 500 rounds. I'll take that.
Which is really good. That's very good. On 22, that's very good, I would say. And notable, all suppressed.
Yeah. Hey, we were out here filming, and, you know, we're in public land, so there's people out here sometimes. People walking up, and they're like, hey, we think we've seen the channel. So thank you guys for saying hi. Appreciate you. We'll see you next time.
Pretty funny.
So wrap up this TX22, my man.
Yeah, so reliability, I mean, look, as an overall thing, I'm fine with it. I know the 22 is going to be picky. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. So, like, sure, you're going to clear some malfunctions here and there. It's not going to be detrimental to your day or anything like that. It's just,
I haven't cleaned mine, so.
Yeah, I have, which is amazing that, like, yours is still running that good on
no
dirty
issues.
22.
Yeah. Other than a hiccup here and there, which is to be expected.
Sure. So I'm just going to kind of lay out my case who I think stuff like this is good for. Right?
Okay.
So here's a few people that I think
assassins.
like essentially why you should have things like this. If you're an assassin, for sure.
Yep.
One, it's a damn good looking gun.
I think aesthetically,
They're damn
you know,
good looking.
people are going to be mad that I got a, unicorn suppressor on here. But if it were a black suppressor like yours, I mean, it is an aesthetically pleasing gun.
think
With
it's a
the light
very
optic
good-looking
suppressor, it looks really cool.
It's a very
right?
good looking gun.
Yeah.
Two, they're just a ton of fun. There's very little that you're gonna shoot that's gonna bring a better smile to your face than something like that.
That's my first rounds. I was like, started shooting, and then slowly I could feel my grin, just like, oh, dude. And the couple guys I grabbed at the range just had giant smiles because it is a shit ton of fun to shoot.
Yeah, 100%. A couple other things. I think it's a great way to teach a new shooter. Whether that be a kid is like a family that's learning how to shoot together, or like whatever, you're taking your girlfriend out, or if you're a girl that shoots, then you're taking your boyfriend out.
Which in case you're dating another woman.
Yeah, you know,
neither here nor there.
Same. But great way to teach new shooters because the intimidation factor is just gone, right? Because as soon as you shoot the first round, both between the noise being quiet and there being no recoil, you just go like, oh, okay, right? And you kind of like get rid of some of those nerves.
The tension, right?
Yeah, right.
And even if this wasn't suppressed, 22 isn't terribly loud. It's the recoil that we're trying to mitigate, which on a 22 is negligible, right? So.
2 more points I'm going to make.
Yep.
Damn.
As we get rained on by rocks.
Well, that's nice. That stings the
a little bit,
skins. So I get questions sometimes just because you guys do see a dog on set and people go, how do you get your dog used to gunfire? This is how you start, okay? As a very niche point, but a real point. For those of you who are like, man, I'd love to get my dog used to gunfire, but they go nuts. It's probably because you're starting by introducing them to like a Mark 18 unsuppressed, and you're just killing them.
Like a fucking asshole.
Like fucking stop. And one, get eye and ear pro for your dogs. Like this is essential, guys. You have to have an eye and ear pro for your dog if they're going to be around gunfire. It's no different. If you need them, if you've said, hey, the noise is enough that I need ears for this, and I'm at a distance where I need eye pro, cool, so does your fucking dog. Like, respect your dog's life. But if you're gonna get them used to gunfire, 1, try to start early. 2, start quiet and build up as you go. This is a great place to start acclimating a canine or fucking Yorkie, I don't give a shit, to gunfire. Last, on a practical level, really good for any sort of like, if you had ever had to rely on doing any sort of like small game hunting or anything like that, that is a clutch gun to have.
Yeah, little squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. Rabbit, squirrel, anything like that.
Cats.
Like, hey, if you're taking down an elk, yeah, you're gonna struggle a little bit. Like, it's gonna be a lot of rounds.
Yeah.
Like a poor elk.
Yep.
Like the elk was found with 2,000 rounds
Yeah,
in it.
shame on you for making that animal suffer. So.
Yeah, but for doing small game stuff, like this is a really, really good thing. Which again, for those of you that want to play the survival game, apocalypse, yada, 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 I gotta go get my own food. Cool, frankly, look, you're a lot more likely to be living on squirrels and rabbits than you are on a moose, okay? Yep. So everyone kind of like let go of that idea sometimes. So look, I mean, from my perspective, and I think yours too, I mean, like, super fun little gun.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. It's the first product I've ever owned from Taurus.
Same.
And I'm quite happy with it.
Same. I literally have nothing to add, Jake. I mean, I guess I'll add this. I went in like, oh gosh, you know? And then literally first mag through this, I was like, well, this is a winner. I really enjoy it.
It's a winner.
And then I shot another, 500 rounds like you should do on a review, not just one mag.
Yeah.
500 rounds.
Correct.
And I like this gun. I am happy to own it now. It's gonna stay just like this. It's gonna be going to demos and a bunch of stuff with me. It's gonna get shot to hell, and I'm excited to shoot it to hell. So,
really fun. So,
cool.
Hey, take it for whatever it's worth. A couple dudes who tend to lean on the very Gucci side of firearm choices telling you, hey, there's a really fun little like $500 or sub $500 gun for you.
Yep. So, cool. Thanks, guys. See you next time.